What's up, cool kids? It's me, S-A-E-R-I-C. I am the People's co-host, Eric Barnes. This is Raw is EBar. I am extremely bright, so let's get to it. Alright, so the show started off with good old AJ Styles in the ring cutting a promo. Nothing bad, but he didn't get too far into it. But I do like how the past couple weeks we've kind of had a rotating segment to start the show, featuring different superstars. Like, last week it was Ambrose, Jericho, I think. I'm really just kind of sick of seeing the McMahons start the show. I know Shane's extremely over, and I like Shane McMahon, but not every week to start the show. So this was kind of refreshing. I did enjoy it. We got the beginning of the AJ promo, as I was saying, before he was interrupted by our good buddy Roman Reigns. Their back and forth was decent. I feel like it's about as good as we can expect from Reigns at this point. I mean, that's about where it tops out for Roman Reigns. So he was giving the best that he can, that we've seen so far anyway. And AJ's still sticking to the story that he's going to beat him by himself on Sunday and doesn't need the club. I'm not saying you need the club, AJ, but this Sunday is your chance, and it's our chance too, okay? There are no rules. You just have to get that title off of Roman Reigns no matter what, by any means necessary. So this is your chance to be able to use them and not feel too bad about it, because it's still within the rules. So I say go for it, but I know you're not gonna. Anyway, the club came out. Reigns had the Usos there for backup, and AJ gets punched out of the ring. I thought that this was an interesting segment to kick off Raw. Okay. So next we had Sami Zayn versus Cesaro, which ended in a no contest because Kevin Owens and The Miz were on commentary and they got involved, and so it was no contest. Let me holla at you, player.
Tonight's main event, a tag team match.
Yes. Yes.
Got myself a winner.
Alright, so Shane turns this into a tag team match, which was basically a rematch of a match that happened on SmackDown. But then Stephanie came out and switched the teams around a little bit, which made it infinitely more interesting, honestly. Owens and Zayn were on the same team, and then The Miz and Cesaro, which is definitely strange bedfellows, I guess you could say. It really made the match a lot more interesting because the crowd wasn't really sure who to cheer throughout this, and they kind of let their emotions take them on a roller coaster ride, as far as I could tell from the crowd. So what happened with me, I thought that it was really interesting, and I thought that it was a really good match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are great at playing up their disdain for each other extremely well, even whenever they are on the same team. I found it just to be a pleasure to watch. This match was solid, and I definitely have a feeling that the four of these guys could definitely have potential to steal the show at Extreme Rules. So the Shining Stars debuted on Raw, and what can you really say? The promos for this team leading up to their debut made absolutely no sense to me in a wrestling context, and now that they're here, it still makes no sense. All right. So, next, Dean Ambrose wanted to have a little chat with Chris Jericho, and he definitely got one. I'm really enjoying the whole gift of Jericho thing that he's been doing lately. I don't know, it's so douchey that it cracks me up every time. We also found out that at Extreme Rules, Ambrose and Jericho are going to compete in the first ever Asylum Match. So from what I can tell, it's basically a cage with weapons on the top. Honestly, it could have been a normal cage match and still had my attention completely. I know A lot of people are upset with the jacket, Mitch, the plant, everything. I enjoy it. I'm sorry. What can I say? I guess I'm a mark. But I'm really looking forward to this match. I've enjoyed their rivalry. Their match at Payback maybe dragged on a little bit too much, but with everything going on in this match, I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining. Definitely another match with potential to steal the show. Who knows what insanity is going to happen in this Asylum match? I don't know. I liked Ambrose promo on Raw. I've seen a few people saying it was corny or just dumb. I don't know. I found it to be more aggressive than Ambrose usually is. Usually he's kind of like the jokey lunatic, but in this promo, he kind of just seemed more angry, intense, and definitely closer to an actual lunatic. So this is definitely another one I'm excited for come Extreme Rules. Okay. So Dana Brooke made her in-ring debut on Raw this past Monday. She got the win over Becky Lynch, which, was her debut. So if she didn't win it, it seems like she just would have immediately stalled out, although Becky is a top contender as well. So you wouldn't think she'd lose to a newcomer, but Dana Brooke's not really a newcomer, as most fans know her from down in NXT. So I know that she and Emma were feuding with Becky. I'm not entirely sure why. Not entirely sure what the story exactly is supposed to be with that. Definitely sucks to hear about Emma's injury. Right after she had finally worked her way back up to the main roster, she was a heel now. Things were actually looking pretty good for her. And of course, an injury happens, which is always a bummer no matter who it is, but particularly whenever you're on an upswing like she was. Definitely not sure what the future is going to hold in WWE for Dana Brooke, but I definitely am hoping the best. All right, guys, it finally happened. Golden Truth is finally a tag team. Woohoo! Said no one ever, because nobody cares. Wow. Okay. In their first match, they lose to a tag team that's even more makeshift than them in Breezango, or whatever the hell that was supposed to be called. Honestly, their two gimmicks, the guy that's really just conceited and into himself, and then the dancing dude, sort of, it at least makes more sense than R-Truth and Goldust together with Golden Truth. I don't know. So Truth accidentally kicks Goldust in the face, causing them to lose their very first match as a team after 5-6 months. They made up backstage, so don't worry about that. But I find both R-Truth and Goldust talented, and I find them both entertaining. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. That's just my opinion. But, I guess at least they're getting a story and some time on Raw, which is, I guess, a good thing. But it's such a strange story, and it's been drawn out for so long. I feel like that the writers probably don't have an end game for this, but maybe they do. I hope if there is more payoff with this, that it happens soon. Well, it's no secret that I'm a New Day fan, and I thought that the entire Time Machine segment was golden. Better promise me I'll be back in time. From Kofi yearning for his 2009, his best year, to the Derriere Squares. I enjoyed every minute of this segment. Of course, the Vaudevillains came out, and they got the beat down on the New Day. Vaudevillains look strong going into Extreme Rules, and I feel like it'll be a solid match. But definitely no way that I feel like the Vaudevillains are walking out of Extreme Rules the champions. Alright, so the Usos, or Bloodline, or whatever the hell you want to call them nowadays, took on the Club in a tag team match, and of course, AJ Styles is out there ringside, as well as Roman Reigns. Definitely was a solid match. I'm not so sure that the Usos getting the win was the right way to go. Personally, I don't feel like the club should be racking up losses this early into their WWE career, even if it is against an established team like the Usos. I don't know. I felt like the best moment of this segment, overall, not the match, but the segment that came afterwards was when AJ Styles got in his Styles Clash on Roman and on a steel chair. Good work, buddy. I definitely hope something epic happens with this whole thing at Extreme Rules, since nothing really, there was no trigger pulled, nothing really that made your brain want to explode happened at Payback. I mean, let's face it, we know AJ isn't going to win, but come on, WWE, give us something.
No chance.
We also got to see Kalisto take on Alberto Del Rio. Mid-match, Rusev comes out with a beaten down Sin Cara because he was already going to town on him in the back. And I don't know if this was just, well, it wasn't just me because was filming The Scoop earlier and was talking to Mike Nagel about this, but did it not take a suspiciously long amount of time for Kalisto to care about what was happening to Sin Cara? He obviously saw it. He was held against the ropes to see the video whenever it was happening backstage, and he for sure saw it once Rusev was already out there. So why did it take him so long to want to do something? This is his tag team partner. This is his best friend, you'd think. So it took him a long time to notice, and then whenever he finally did notice, it lost him the match. So Rusev lost last week to Sin Cara. Kalisto lost this week to Del Rio, so we officially have a couple of losers fighting at Extreme Rules for the United States Championship.
I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
All right, well, main event time. I mentioned this on The Scoop, but I was watching Raw on Monday. I'm sitting there just enjoying Raw, and I saw that the women's title contract signing was advertised for tonight. As you know, the little logo just says tonight. Doesn't exactly say when. So as Raw went on, and then for me, the final hour is 9 to 10. So when the 9 o'clock hour hit, and it was the Usos in the club out there, my brain was working. I came to the slow realization that this contract signing was going to be the main event segment. Now, I honestly don't have a problem with this. I think it's good to elevate the women's division, and I think being in the main event segment is a good way to do that. But the fact is, this is not the most hyped up match on the card for Extreme Rules. So for it to be the main event segment in the go home episode of Raw for Extreme Rules, this kind of seemed like a strange choice. Overall, I know that they were in Flair country, so on that level, it makes sense. And we also found out that if Ric Flair even comes to the ring at all on Sunday, that Charlotte will forfeit the Women's Championship. So Flair wanted to fight Shane. Shane didn't want to fight. Steph ended up slapping the piss out of Flair, embarrassing him. And Natalya, as you can see here, made Charlotte tap out yet again. So all I can say to that is, can't wait to see Charlotte retain on Sunday. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you this week. As of today, Wednesday the 18th of May in 2016, the day that this was posted, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be a Cards Against Humanity game played, and I want to play with you guys. So, if you haven't already, get in touch with me. Lots of contact information down there in the description of the video, and let me know. We'll hook it up. We're playing with viewers. I think that Noah and Mike might be there. It's going to be a good time. So anyway, do that. Like this video if you liked it at all. Subscribe for more videos, more Raw's EBar, video games, all that good stuff. And until next week, I'll see you guys then.